this person got close to you and slowly took things from you. Not in one big, obvious way. That would have been easier to see. They took things in small pieces, so small that when you tried to name them out loud, they sounded like nothing. Just a thing here, a comment there, a moment you brushed off. But the pieces added up, and your body knows exactly how much they took. They took your time. You waited for their replies. You waited for their attention. You waited for the version of them that showed up in the beginning to come back. You kept adjusting your schedule around theirs. You kept telling yourself they were busy, they were stressed, they were going through something. And meanwhile, the days of your life were being spent in a waiting room they built for you. They took your money, or your energy, or your labor. Whatever form of giving you were capable of, they figured out and slowly turned it into something they expected. The first gift you gave them was a beautiful gesture. The next one was noticed less. The one after that, they had already decided you owed them. Your generosity became a debt in their mind that you were always short on paying. And they took your voice. You stopped bringing things up because bringing things up became exhausting. Because every conversation about how you felt turned into a conversation about how they felt. Every time you tried to point out a hurt, they had a bigger one to counter with. So you started swallowing your feelings. And the swallowed feelings had to go somewhere. So they went into your body, into your sleep, into your chest, into the part of you that stopped believing you deserved better. That is what they took. There are specific moments you have not been able to forget. The moment they were stingy with you when you needed something small. When you asked for help and they made you feel like you were asking for the world. Meanwhile, you had watched them spend on themselves, on people who did not care about them, on things that did not matter. And when your turn came, suddenly there was no money, no time, no space. The moment they used a joke as a weapon. This one is specific. They made a comment about how you look, about your body, about your face, about something you were already insecure about, framed as humor, said in front of other people so you could not push back without seeming like you could not take a joke. And you laughed along, and that laugh cost you a piece of yourself. That was not a joke. Jokes do not need a target. That was a wound delivered with a smile on it. The moment they made a promise and broke it casually, not with an apology, with a shrug, like your disappointment was an inconvenience they had to manage. The moment you tried to step back and they turned suddenly warm, suddenly attentive, suddenly the person you fell for at the beginning, and you thought maybe it was different this time. It was not different. It was maintenance. They were doing the minimum to keep you inside the story. You know these moments. They are still in your body. You do not talk about them out loud because most people would not understand why they hurt so much. But your nervous system did not forget. Your nervous system logged every single one. There is another pattern I want to name because the beginning of this connection was not like this. In the beginning, it was warm. It was attention. It was that specific kind of energy that made you feel chosen, like you finally met someone who really saw you. And then the season changed. The romantic period ended and everything went dry. Not a small shift, a drastic one. Like a switch got flipped somewhere and you were suddenly in a different relationship than the one you signed up for. Dry as desert. That is what I am seeing. The affection got smaller. The time got smaller. The interest in what you had to say got smaller. And the intimacy, whatever form of closeness was between you, physical or emotional or both, became something they doled out on their schedule, not yours. Some of you were also not being given satisfaction, not being given proper time, not being given the actual presence of the person you were with. They were there, but they were not there. Their body would be in the room and their attention would be 1,000 miles away. And when you tried to ask for more, they made you feel like you were asking for too much. You went from being their whole world to being one of their errands. And the confusing part is, nothing you did earned that change. It was always going to happen, because that is the pattern. The warmth was the hook. The dryness was the truth. You lost a version of yourself in there. There was a version of you before them who trusted your gut, who did not second-guess every message you sent, who did not rehearse conversations before having them, who did not lie awake at night trying to figure out what you did wrong. That version got quieter and quieter the longer you were with them, and by the end, you did not fully recognize the person in the mirror. You were more anxious, more small, more apologetic, more willing to accept things you would have refused a year earlier. That was not weakness. That was a nervous system that had been slowly trained by someone who benefited from you being unsure of yourself. Because when you are unsure of yourself, you are easier to keep, easier to control, easier to shape into whatever they need you to be that week. They did not love you. They used you. And they used you in a way that made you feel like you were the one failing the relationship. That is the part that took the longest to see, because you kept trying to fix a dynamic that was working exactly the way they wanted it to. You were not the problem. You were the person doing all the work in a room they had already left emotionally. Now let me tell you why these cards came out today. Every stolen piece of your time, every closed wallet, every silenced conversation, every joke that landed like a bruise, the universe kept a receipt. And the receipt is being cashed right now, as you are watching this. But before I show you how, I need to tell you something important. This year is powerful for you, very powerful. You are under heavy protection right now, the kind of protection where things that should have hit you are being redirected. And that same protection is why you are being shown what is about to happen to them, so you can stop carrying it. Someone new has entered their life, and this person is running the exact playbook they ran on you, but sharper, colder, and with worse consequences. Let me show you. This is someone your narcissist met recently who is not fully a stranger. They have crossed paths before, maybe through work, through a mutual acquaintance, through a social setting, someone in the extended circle but not the inner one, someone who was around but not central. That is what makes this dangerous for your narcissist, because a stranger they could dismiss, a close friend they could manage, but this person sits in the middle, familiar enough to trust, distant enough to have no accountability. Perfect predator positioning. And this person is a specific type, very put together, very calm, emotionally unavailable in a way disguised as mysterious. They do not chase, they do not explain, they do not react. They say what they mean once, and then they go quiet. And the silence they leave behind is the trap. Your narcissist looked at this person and thought they found someone worth their time. What they actually found was a mirror, and they cannot look away from it. Let me start with the money. The person who was stingy with you is spending money on someone who does not care about them. Buying things they never would have bought you, covering meals that were supposed to be split, funding gifts and favors and problems that pile up faster than they can afford. And they are doing it willingly. That is the part that is going to eat them later. They are choosing to open the wallet for someone who barely notices. The new person does not ask directly. They drop hints. Little, "I wish I could afford that," comments. Little, "about a bill." Little mentions of something they cannot do this month. And your narcissist keeps stepping in, solving it, buying it, handling it, trying to be needed, because they finally met someone whose approval they cannot buy. So they keep spending more, trying to get closer. Now I want to tell you something the cards are showing me clearly. There is one way out for this person. One. And it is not going to be easy for them. If they come to you and genuinely apologize, not a half apology, not a "I am sorry you feel that way," but a real one where they name what they did, and if they return what they owe you, the money, the thing, the time, whatever it is that is still unresolved between you. If they do that, the karma softens. The universe backs off. God does not press as hard. But the cards are also showing me that they probably will not do it, because doing that requires them to face themselves, and they are not ready to face themselves. Their pride is bigger than their instinct for survival right now. So the offer is on the table. But they have to reach for it, and most of them will not, which means everything I am about to describe is what happens by their own choice. Now the time. The person who kept you waiting is now the one waiting. Checking their phone constantly, rereading old messages, refreshing to see if the new person came online. Drafting texts they do not send, sending texts they should not have sent. Sitting up at night wondering what a specific comment meant, wondering if they are being. Every anxiety they made you feel, they are living inside it. Their turn. And the new person is not doing anything urgent. They are just letting the silence work. Because they know silence pulls the anxious person deeper in. That is the exact technique your narcissist used on you. But your narcissist did it from wound. This new person is doing it from strategy. And that difference is why it works 10 times harder. Now I need to talk about their body, because the cards are being very clear about this. This new person is not just draining their money and their time. They are sucking the health out of them. The narcissist is not sleeping. The panic in their nervous system is not the ordinary kind. This is the kind of anxiety that hits the body so hard they feel like the room is spinning. The kind where they get lightheaded standing up. The kind where they have to sit down suddenly in the middle of something. Some of them will actually pass out. Their body is going to shut down as a way of forcing them to stop, because they will not stop on their own. And I need to name something else the cards are showing. There is a health issue coming for them that is going to be very private, something in an intimate area of their body, something they will not be able to talk about openly, something they will have to sit with in shame, the exact kind of shame they used to make other people feel. I do not want to sensationalize this. I am only telling you what the cards are showing. Whatever this new person brings into their life is not clean. And your narcissist, in their desperation to keep this connection, is not being careful. They are ignoring signals from their own body because they are too focused on chasing the connection. The person who took your health and your peace is losing theirs, piece by piece. Let me tell you how this ends. This new person is not going to break up with them dramatically. There will be no blowout, no confrontation. They are just going to slowly disappear. Stop replying, stop showing up, fade out. Your narcissist will be left with no closure, no explanation, no chance to say their piece, just silence. And the specific kind of body damage that stays with them long after the person is gone. Because closure was the one thing they never gave you either. And the universe made sure they got a bigger dose of the same medicine. The timing is close. The confusion, the money leaking out, the obsession, that is happening right now. Within 6 to 8 weeks, something visible cracks. By month 3 or 4, the fade out is complete, and they are alone with what is left of them. And during those same months, your life is going in the opposite direction. Your money starts coming back, your time feels like yours again, your energy returns to your body. The distance between your two lives is going to widen every single week. That widening is the real ending, not their fall, your rise, happening in parallel. Let me close with you, because this reading was always about you. The version of yourself that got lost in that connection is coming back, slowly. They will not arrive all at once. They will show up in small moments. A morning where you wake up and this person is not the first thought. A conversation where you speak up instead of swallowing. A moment where you say no without rehearsing it 3 times first. A laugh that surprises you because it feels like your old laugh. That is you coming home. You do not need to check on their story. You do not need to follow the karma. You do not need to know when it lands. Your protection this year is doing the heavy lifting. Your only job is to walk forward and let your energy return. If this reading found you at the right time, if any part of the first half felt like someone was finally describing what actually happened to you, leave the word released in the comments. That is your signature on the closing of this chapter. Take care of yourself this week. Sleep, rest, eat something warm, and notice how much lighter you feel now that you are not carrying their story anymore. I will see you in the next one.